procrastinating a lot, I was being lazy, I had poor time management skills, I had learned that my first child was on the way, and I was just so unsure of myself. I felt so dumb at this point, I just didn't know what to do. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Carolina, Carol, Carolina, whatever you prefer to call me. Everybody calls me differently. Welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to be talking about my low GPA. I know it's very embarrassing for me to talk about this topic, but because I am going into nursing school soon, I do want to talk about it. I just thought it might help a few people. Maybe they're going through their lowest in college. And so I wanted to start with talking about when it was that I got my low GPA. When I started college, I started out so strong. I had like a 3.5, and then it just started slowly decreasing. I think on my third semester in college, I was pregnant, but I didn't know yet until like the end of the semester. And then I found out that I was pregnant, and I was already doing bad. When I found out I was pregnant, that same semester I was put into academic probation, and academic probation just kind of lets the school know that your GPA is low, you cannot get financial aid, and basically they're going to monitor you and they're giving you a chance to do better the next time. But I didn't do better the next time. I actually did the same. Horrible. I did horrible, and I just didn't know what the heck. Like, I was interested in the classes, I just was procrastinating and being lazy and wasn't putting effort. I was missing classes, and I wasn't putting my all into these classes. And so that whole time I was doing horrible. And then my daughter was born, and that whole semester, my daughter was born in the summer, so I went back to school when she was a month old, and that whole semester I did bad. Like, I passed, I think, one class, and then a few classes I got a D's in them. It was just like all of that process of getting used to being a new mom, and I was living in a room with my mom, my daughter, and myself, and living with people we know, but it's still difficult when you're living in a room and with your mom and your child. And there was just a lot going on, and then, like, with my kid's father as well, my boyfriend at the time, and then it was just a lot going on. And I don't like excuses, so I'm not going to sit here and give you guys excuses of why I failed these classes. After I got placed in academic probation, I was still going to school. I still had decided after my child that I was going to stay in school, even if I was doing bad, because I just knew what my goal was. And I'm going to go back in the beginning a little bit, but I started off wanting to be an obstetrician. Gynecologist, you know, the doctor that helps deliver babies and helps women throughout the pregnancy. I wanted to be that ever since. Like, I always wanted to be that. I mean, there are periods when I wanted to be like a model or some stupid stuff before, but I always knew I wanted to be in the medical field. And I'm gonna come back to the academic probation, I promise. I'm not gonna go like branching off. But I wanted to be an obstetrician. I just didn't know what classes I needed or what I needed to do to get into medical school. Like, I just had no clue before my daughter was born, like that period of like starting community college up to when I got pregnant. I went through this period of not knowing what to do. I was questioning whether I wanted to be an obstetrician because I didn't know how to get to that point. And then I was questioning, so what classes do I need to take? And even if I went to a counselor to see them, like, they would ask me what I wanted to do when I was there so they could guide me to see what I wanted to do. It was just like this loop, and I wasn't getting out of it. So I think that played too, because I felt kind of lost. And then as soon as I knew that I was pregnant and that I was doing bad already, I was like, no, I can't go to medical school because it's going to take long, and I need to make money as soon as possible. And so I chose nursing. And so, okay, I was like, okay, I'm pregnant, I'm doing bad, how can I get out of this? And even after my daughter was born, I was doing bad, but because the classes were hard and I was getting used to being a new mom and then just having, like, you know, personal issues and problems. And so I was like, I knew I wanted to be a nurse at that point. Okay, so I was pregnant, I was doing bad, I knew it, but I still wanted to continue with school and go for nursing. And I was like, oh, okay, like I'm doing bad and still like all these things, like I was just doing so bad. Procrastinating, my time management was like everywhere, like I just didn't know what the hell I was doing with my time, and I was just being lazy, and lazy with school. Like obviously I was taking care of my daughter and doing that kind of stuff, but I was being lazy with school. So after like the first semester, after my child was born, so my daughter was almost like 6 months, I was like, what the hell am I doing? It's been like almost 3 years that I graduated high school, and I don't have anything. I'm not making money, basically, and my mom's helping me. What the hell am I doing? Like get in the game, like start doing better. I was like, I have to get this GPA up, I have to get better grades, and I did, and it was a struggle because I had to take like all these math classes, and I'm pretty good at math, but I'm not complaining about that. But I'm like psych classes, I did really well. I'm like really good at psychology classes, and sociology, that's easy breezy. Philosophy, political science, that's so easy, like general education stuff. But then the prerequisites for nursing are like micro, physiology, anatomy, and chemistry. And dude, chemistry kicked my butt. I hated chemistry. Like it was interesting, but at the same time I was like there was some things that I completely understood, and there was other things that it wasn't clicking, and I was like, ugh. I took chemistry 3 times, I promise, 3 times it took for me to pass chemistry, and it was all because I wasn't prioritizing and managing my time so I can study efficiently. So I'm gonna go back a little as well. Okay, so I had my kid. A month after she was born, I took anatomy, and I failed it. Well, I didn't fail, I got a D. When I say fail, I don't really mean I got an F, I got a D. Like, I never really got an F, just in one class. But when I say fail, I mean I got a D. My daughter was like a month old, and I got into anatomy, and it was really well, but it was so much information, and I was falling into cramming. Like, I was relying on cramming for exams, because I was getting used to being a new mom, and just so much time with my daughter and figuring it all out, and just these problems. At the same time trying to study, but I wasn't studying efficiently for my new situation. So I was learning while I was doing, and I got a D in anatomy, and I passed this other class that I was taking at the time as well, but it was an easy class, not anatomy. And so I took it again, and I passed with a C, and at this time I didn't really know. Like, I knew I needed good grades to get into nursing school, but I didn't know you needed like a specific grade for anatomy. I don't know what the heck, like now because I know, I'm like, what the hell, where was my head then? But I got a C, and I was like, oh, okay, I passed, so I'm like, this is gonna help me get into nursing school. Like, no, honey, like, you need very good grades for anatomy, physio, and micro, and I mean chemistry. But chemistry doesn't really, like, it matters, but it's not so much as like anatomy, physio, and micro. And then I got pregnant again with my second child. We had already moved out of the room that we were living in, and we got our own place, me, my mom, and my daughter, and things were getting better. I was prioritizing more, managing my time more, so it was better. It was getting better, but it wasn't quite well for these classes because they need so much time management, like efficient time management and studying skills. I think that's why I got C's, but I'm not tripping about it because I know that I'm much more than those grades say, but you do need those grades, so I am a little disappointed in the back of my mind, but I'm not beating myself up for it. And anyways, so we got into this new place, and I was almost finished. All I needed was physio and microbiology. I ended up taking physiology for the winter, and you guys, that was like the biggest mistake of my life. Well, not the biggest, but you know, it was a mistake. My class was a 6-week class, and physiology, like, so much information. What the hell was I thinking? I just have this plan to take physiology in winter and then take microbiology in the spring, so I can, you know, apply to nursing schools for fall. And that was a mistake because that's not how I went. Like, my plan was this, and then it went this way. So Okay, so I took physiology in 6 weeks. My son, well, my daughter was 3 years old. My son was, at the time, was like 8 months old. I ended up with a C in that class, and I wanted a B because the nursing school that I had in mind, at this time I already knew what grades I needed to get into the nursing school that I wanted, and I needed, because I got a C in anatomy, I was going for a B for physio and an A for micro, so I can, but that's not even competitive, so I don't even know what the heck I was thinking, like my priority was my kids, and with such crunch time, it was, not impossible, but it was very hard, and I was so discouraged, guys, because I was like, okay, my plan was to take physiology, and as soon as I got my grade, I'll email the professor for microbiology so she can give me a spot on the waiting list at least for microbiology, and I'll take it in spring. I ended up not getting the microbiology in spring, so I was so discouraged. Again, I have to look at other options now because I got a C in anatomy and a C in physiology, and now I have to take microbiology, and I don't even know what grade I'm going to have, so I can't really choose a nursing program yet because I don't know what grade I'm going to get, and 2 C's, I had a 2.0. So fall came and I did take microbiology, and I ended up getting a C again. It was just a lot of information as well, and my time management skills were there, but I was taking pharmacology as well, and I ended up passing both classes, microbiology and pharmacology, but I was putting more emphasis on pharmacology instead of microbiology. So I got a C in microbiology, and I was like, no way is a 2.0 in anatomy, physio, and microbiology going to get me into the nursing school that I wanted. And the nursing school that I wanted was Mount St. Mary's, and they have a BSN program which requires a 3.0 and then, or 2.7 in anatomy, physio, and micro, and then a 3.0 cumulative, something like that. I could be wrong. And they also have an associate's degree at Mount St. Mary's, and they require a 2.5 GPA. But I didn't have that. I had a 2.0, and I was so angry. I was so pissed at myself. Like, how the hell did you get C's? How did you not give it your all? I felt like I was giving it my all at the time, but then it's like, okay, you got a C, like a few points away from a B, but it's not a B, it's a C. Like, man. And then so I was looking into programs, that did allow 2.0s, and there was very few. There was like LACC and then Glendale. So there's a few. So there are options. There's a lot of options. Your plan is this, but things may change, and you're gonna probably have to go with this or that. And there's always a way. There's always a way to get to your goals. There's not this set path. Oh, if you don't go this path, if you don't get these grades, you can't do it. No, there's always a way. Because this journey has been emotional. It's been all over the place, and I just want to be finished already. I want to be a nurse already and earn money for my kids and be able to get a bigger place because my kids need space, I need space. So I ended up doing more research. I didn't just apply to these community colleges, nursing programs, like 2. It was LACC and Glendale. Between those, but I also looked into West Coast University. I always had this picture in my mind, West Coast University and the American Career College, and like, that's for dumb people, or those schools are like dumb, or they're so expensive, or they're not good nursing programs, stuff like that. And then this one day, because I had looked into West Coast University before, and they required a 2.0 to get in for the prerequisites, and it's a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing. And I was like, this sounds a little too good to be true, but it is so expensive. I didn't even care about the money. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to an information session at West Coast University to try to see my options. I want to see my options, not just community college. Like, I just want to see all these options. And so I went, and I ended up like falling in love with West Coast University. And I was like, man, but it feels a little too good to be true. I have these C's in these 3 classes, and I'm gonna be able to get into this Bachelor's of Science in Nursing at West Coast University. Like, what's the catch? What's the catch? So I talked to one of the advisors. Like, they're really on top of their game. I went to the information session. They give you all the information you need. I was like, okay, I have all those prerequisites done, and have everything done, so what next? Like, what can I do to enroll? So they're like, well, to enroll you're gonna have to pass the HESI exam, and I passed it with like all 90%, all the subjects, 90%. So they're like, whoa, like you really got a good score. And so I sent in my transcripts, I enrolled in the school, and I talked to a financial aid advisor, and they're like, this is what the cost is. And when I was sitting there, I was like, am I making the right decision? Even if I get accepted to LAC and whatever, I still kind of want to go to West Coast University. And many of you may think that's crazy because of the cost, but I just felt like it was right for me. Like, I don't know, like something was telling me, and I felt it, like, go to West Coast University. The cost is really, really expensive, but I already had all my prerequisites done, and not all, I still have to take like 2. So here's my book for the College of Nursing, West Coast University, and I'm pretty much in now. I'm in West Coast University. All I have to do is a registration where they're gonna give me my schedule. They already gave me like a proposed schedule, and they're gonna give me like my student ID picture and like ID and all that stuff on registration, and I have to go to orientation the following week. West Coast University is like, you know, you got this, you passed the HESI, you can get in, you're in, we got your schedule, we got you, fill out this financial aid, and you're settled. Yeah, I did have to pull out a few loans, but I am investing in my education to get my nursing degree. Like, this is it. Like, I'm not wasting my time here. I don't want to waste my time. The cost is the least of my worries, because once I do get into nursing, like, I'll pay it off. Like, whatever little money I have now, like very little money, and like after I pay the rent and, you know, pay a few bills that I have, like little small bills right now, but and I do pay half of the rent with my mom where we do live, I get little money left over, and I budget that throughout the whole month to what my kids need. We go out here and there, we try not to go out and eat. If we're gonna go to the park or to the beach, I'll try to make food at home, and that's just another video. And, you know, I try to budget my money as well as I can. So once I get my job, after I'm a nurse, you know, I'll budget my money how I've been doing it, and I'll pay back these loans. So I'm just transferring in, going into nursing. But they do require like a first-year seminar class. I think my philosophy class didn't transfer in, and the humanities. I do have to take a pathophysiology first and a G capstone, which I don't really know what that class is, but they know what they're doing. And so I have to take these 5 classes before I go into nursing. And the nursing core classes I will be starting in the fall. So I'm going to community college right now, but as soon as I finish finals week, the next week I start at West Coast University. I had to go through all of that to really know myself and to really know that I've got it and I really want to be a nurse, and this is what I'm fighting for. And I planned one thing and it didn't go that way, but I'm gonna do it, and it's there. Like, I'm in a nursing program already. I've been accepted. Like, a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. Obviously I'm gonna start nursing, and that's just another, you know, chapter in my life, and it's gonna be hard. I already know it. I have 2 kids, and then just applying that time management and prioritizing, that's gonna help so much. And I'm so excited, guys. And basically my message is that no matter what you want to be, no matter how hard you go down, just pick yourself up. Just know that there's always another path to where you want to get. Like, I never imagined I was gonna have 2 kids by the time I'm 25 and without a degree and having had failed these classes, because I'm not gonna say that I'm like the smartest chick on the block. I'm not the smartest. I'm not a genius. I'm more than what's on my transcripts. Like, I'm more than what my grades are. I hope I didn't like branch off, because I like to branch. I talk about one thing, and then I'm like, in my mind, like all these branches start popping up, like, oh, you can go here, 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 and then just talk about this all at the same time, and then I just go into a loop and then forget things. And then I don't say what exactly I wanted to say. You know, any questions you have, I will answer them. And is that it? I think that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to comment down below any questions that you have. and I'll see you guys next time. Okay, so subscribe and like. Okay guys, bye.